Hi, I'm Debra, business owner and mom to Gen Z kids on a mission to make sure they get hired and become financially independent as soon as possible. If you're a parent wanting to get your kids hired or a new job seeker desperately trying to get hired, this show is for you, and I am so glad you're here. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Okay, so this week I'm going to discuss something that I am seeing over and over again, and I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. So I'm going to focus on, let's see, how many do I have? 4 common resume mistakes. Now, I've discussed resume mistakes in the past, but these are new ones, and I'm seeing them over and over again, and I want to make sure that you are not doing them or your child is not doing them. So first of all, I just want to start out with, if you're unsure if your kid has a resume, now's a great time to ask, like, hey, do you have a resume? And I will put a link in the show notes. I have a kit that provides a template that they can use. It's a great template for a new job seeker, tips to avoid, and some other key features that are great for resumes. So I will include the link to that free kit in the show notes. But right out of the gate, I've never discussed these 4 specific resume mistakes, and I think they're really important. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, email address. I've discussed email addresses in the past and how important it is to have a professional email address. So just to reiterate, in case you haven't gone back to the beginning, your email address should be like first name, last name, a number at gmail.com, period. That is a definite, that has to be done. But that's not what I'm referring to this time. What I'm referring to this time is I'm seeing over and over again students using their school emails on their resume. Do not do this. So here's the reason. So if you are communicating with an employer with your school email and you're communicating in the last semester of your senior year, and then maybe you don't get hired right away, and then they go to reach back out to you in July after you've graduated, they have no way to reach you because that school email is toast. Now, and you're assuming that they've done the due diligence to go find you on LinkedIn to seek you out. They may not. They may send an email to your school email address. It may bounce back, and they may move on to the next person. So there's just no value in using your school email on your resume ever. Don't even add it to your resume. Just put your personal email address on your resume, period, hard stop, end of story. Your school email should just be used to communicate to like your bursar account, your teachers, those kinds of things. School email has no relevance when it comes to internships or job searching. So that is my soapbox on email addresses. Okay, here's another one. I am seeing over and over again degrees being listed incorrectly. Let me give you an example. I have seen more than I can count resumes that say, under education, they'll say bachelor's degree. Okay, first of all, that tells me nothing. There are many different types of bachelor degrees. There is no such thing as a bachelor's degree. However, it's not plural, it's singular. So number 1, that's a big misnomer that a lot of students do. They make it plural. So first of all, don't do that. And number 2, be specific what it is. So if you have a BA, it's a Bachelor of Arts degree. If you have a BS, it's a Bachelor of Science degree. BBA is Bachelor of Business Administration. You need to be specific what your degree is. At some point, you're going to need to know what that is. And you may not know right away as a freshman what bachelor degree you're getting, but you should know pretty quickly. Needless to say, don't ever list it as bachelor's degree because it just looks super unprofessional. And any seasoned professional looking at your resume knows this. And it also runs counterintuitive to listing one of your skills as keen attention to detail because it's very obvious to the recruiter that's looking at your resume. No, you do not have a keen attention to detail because you don't even know how to list your degree. Also, the other thing I'm going to point out is capitalization. So I'll see things like Bachelor of Business Administration, but Bachelor will be capitalized and Business Administration will not be. So be sure to keep that consistency. That whole thing should be capitalized. And then also, if you have a Bachelor of Arts degree, you might want to say comma, history or liberal studies or strategic communications. You need to tell me what that degree is in as well. So that is very important. Also, one that I saw recently that is new and I've never seen before, so I have to point it out. Bachelor of the Arts. That's not a thing. It's Bachelor of Arts. So don't get tricked and add extra words in there either. Okay, because all of those things are inaccurate. And as a new job seeker, your education is at the top of your resume. It's one of the first things they're going to see. So we don't want to hit them in the face with, we don't know what the heck we're talking about, and we don't even know what degree we just got. Okay. Next thing is, I want to talk about AI. I know I talked about AI previously. This is a little bit different. I'm going to be a little bit more strategic about how I want you to rely on it. So as I've mentioned on previous shows, absolutely do not rely on it completely to generate your entire resume. That's a kiss of death. And make sure you read whatever it is that you are copying, pasting from ChatGPT onto your resume, and that you fully understand whatever it is saying. All of that aside, I want you to really lean into it when it comes to fleshing out your job descriptions. So students tend to write on their resumes rather informally, like they're talking. I don't know if this is a generational thing or what the scoop is. Some do it better than others, but I just see a lot of, it's just very basic. So let me give you an example. This student was a peer mentor, and he listed his peer mentor job with this job description. I advised incoming students get connected to the university in the fall of 2024. I led a class of 15 students where I introduced resources that the university offers. Sounds benign. However, here's the problem. He's mentioned when he did it, and that's redundant because next to the job title, he's going to list the month and the years that he did this job, so he doesn't need to then list it again in the description. The thing that he did do well here is he stipulated how many students. So he's making that relevant, and that's important. I would definitely keep that part, but we want to flesh this out. So what I did was I took this exact description that he had on his resume and I put it into ChatGPT with this prompt basically saying, help me reword this for a student resume, making this position sound more impactful and results driven. So the result that I got immediately was 3 bullet points. First one said, led a group of 15 incoming students, providing guidance and mentorship to enhance their university experience. Second bullet point, facilitated connections to academic resources, extracurricular opportunities, and support services, ensuring a strong foundation for success. Third bullet point is actively contributed to fostering a supportive and engaged community, promoting student involvement and personal growth. Okay, this is fine. This is all great. But I wanted to get a little bit more detail. So I went back to ChatGPT and I asked for another version. So what I did was I said, because I wanted more detailed examples. So I said, I like this option better, but can you also provide more detail so it doesn't sound so vague? And just by asking for more detail, and again, these are very generic prompts I'm giving ChatGPT, and I know that most of Gen Z knows how to use ChatGPT, but I'm just giving you examples. So when I asked for more details, I got this. First bullet point is led a group of 15 incoming students through their initial transition to university life, introducing them to key academic resources and extracurricular activities, ensuring they had the tools to thrive both academically and socially. Second bullet point is organized and facilitated weekly group discussions and check-ins, addressing common challenges faced by new students and promoting active participation in campus activities. Third bullet point, fostered a sense of community and belonging by encouraging peer collaboration and offering guidance on time management, study habits, and adjusting to university expectations. So this is really the sweet spot because you're giving actual examples of what you discussed. The other thing that's cool about this is, the second bullet point is facilitated weekly group discussions and check-ins. ChatGPT is reminding you did get together weekly or monthly or whatever it is. It's going to remind you how detailed the work was that you actually did. Because oftentimes we forget, wait, what did I do? Oh yeah, I just kind of helped some kids get through the first year of college. No, you did far more than that. And let ChatGPT help you detail that properly. So it sounds so much better. And like I said, the nice thing about it is it will also trigger your memory of what you actually did in your role. Okay, the last thing I want to mention is do not list specific people on your resume. Okay, so I'm seeing this in 2 different capacities. The first one is I had a student that used his resume to list references on the resume. Okay, so that's a definite kiss of death. No need to do that. If you get to the point in the job interview where they like you enough to follow up with references, they will ask you for them and you will provide them at that time. So do not waste the real estate listing references on your resume. Absolutely not. Hard stop. The other thing is, Do not list a specific person, whether it be a professor or anybody, like a specific person at a job that you may have worked for or worked with that you might think is notable. That person might be notable in that tiny little circle that you're in, or that professor might be profound at that university. But outside of those spaces, when you are applying to a job, no one's going to know who John Smith, PhD is. No one's going to know. So I joke that unless you're directly reporting to Richard Branson or Elon Musk, which likely you are not as a new job seeker, there's no need to list anybody's name on your resume because it's just unimportant, and it's going to be confusing because the recruiter or the hiring manager, whoever you are applying to, is going to go, well, who's this? Am I supposed to know who this is? So you can just reference the title of the person, like worked directly for the department chair of, whatever, liberal studies or whoever it was, but do not list the person's name. It just looks silly. So anyway, those are the 4 main issues I am seeing on resumes that I wanted to point out. And I can't stress enough how important those issues are because gosh, your resume is your time to shine. So parents, like I said, now's the time. Ask your students, do you have a resume? See what it looks like. See if it has any of these common problems on it. If you'd like a free template and a free resource, I will link it in my show notes. It's a super helpful starting point. I hope this episode has been helpful. Any questions, don't hesitate to email me. I also put my email in the show notes as well. And as always, it helps me so much if you share this with a friend or anybody that is in this season of life too. It is so helpful to get my show out there and help me promote it. I really appreciate it. In the meantime, I hope you have a great week, and I will be back next week. Take care.